You ever see someone so arrogant, so full of themselves, and then watch them get completely humiliated? So back in high school, there was this dude, we'll call him Brandon. Brandon thought he was God's gift to earth. You know the type, loud, cocky, constantly flexing about his genius brain. He always had this smug little smirk, like he was the smartest person in every room. The thing is, teachers kinda hated him because he always interrupted to correct them, even when they weren't wrong. Like, one time in history class, the teacher said something about the Cold War, and Brandon was like, actually, you mean 1947, not 1946, basic knowledge. Everyone rolled their eyes, but the worst part? He loved making people feel stupid. If you answered a question wrong, Brandon would laugh, shake his head, and go, wow, how do you not know that? He thrived on embarrassing others. So yeah, we all wanted to see him get humbled. We just didn't know it would happen in the most perfect way. It happened during this huge debate competition the school held every year. Classes would send their best students to argue on stage in front of everyone, students, parents, even some local officials. It was a big deal. Of course, Brandon volunteered instantly. He strutted up to the stage like he was walking onto a red carpet. He literally winked at the audience. I'm not even kidding. His opponent? This super quiet girl named Sarah. She was shy, always sitting in the back of class, barely spoke above a whisper. Nobody expected much from her. Honestly, people thought Brandon was going to destroy her. The topic was something about technology and privacy. Brandon goes first, and as usual, he's full of confidence. He starts with this dramatic speech, throwing around big words, trying to sound like a professor. And of course, he made sure to mock Sarah a little. I hope my opponent can keep up. Everyone groaned, but then Sarah stood up, and I swear it was like watching a different person. She wasn't shy anymore. She spoke clearly, confidently, calmly. And she didn't just argue her points. She destroyed his. Every time Brandon made a claim, Sarah had facts, statistics, and real-world examples that proved him wrong. You could literally see the color drain from his face. The best part? She didn't once raise her voice. No arrogance, no insults, just straight, undeniable logic. Brandon started stumbling over his words, trying to improvise, and it got embarrassing fast. At one point, he mixed up two terms completely, and Sarah politely corrected him, with receipts. The audience gasped. Then came the final blow. Brandon tried to make this dramatic statement about protecting freedom and accidentally quoted a line from a superhero movie, like word for word. Sarah just paused, looked at him, and said, "Was that from Captain America?" The whole auditorium burst out laughing. Even the judges. Brandon's face went bright red. He tried to cover it up, saying it was just a metaphor, but everyone knew he'd been caught. And here's the kicker. Sarah ended her speech with a flawless closing argument and quoted an actual Supreme Court justice. The contrast was brutal. When the scores came in, it wasn't even close. Sarah won by a landslide. The audience gave her a standing ovation. Brandon? He slunk off stage. Wouldn't even make eye contact with anyone. After that day, he never bragged in class again. He wasn't completely silent, but the arrogance? Gone. He actually became tolerable. And Sarah? She became kind of a legend. People who never talked to her before started saying hi in the halls. Teachers praised her for weeks. So yeah, watching the most arrogant guy in school get wrecked by the quietest girl, still one of the most satisfying things I've ever seen.